what is the meaning of Gutta Souff?
The meaning of Gutta Stuff, it's now. It's my moniker I chose. Basically, what I should have told you earlier as well as what I said. Now it's I feel you should be honest in a lot of what you say. You shouldn't tell a kid about selling dope and not tell them the consequences of what comes with it.
True.
Or you shouldn't tell them about going through the struggle without telling them how you came out of the struggle.
Right.
How you made it.
Right.
You know, you may not have found a trail, but you could have been a pathfinder. If that makes sense.
True. That makes perfect sense. Y'all know as it my motivation, this is a real podcast, so you might hear phones ringing. People might have to step away. We edit out whatever need to be edited out, but we're gonna come back to it. So it's all good. Were you born and raised here in Tampa, Florida?
No, I was born and raised in California.
Okay.
Old Mexico, for those who don't know. I don't know why I say that.
Well,
I think of my daughter when I say that, because she called me Black Mexican. I have no idea why.
it is what it is, but that's what.
It's about what they can do for you that you're not doing for yourself. Already.
I like that. It's not about what they can do for you, it's about what you can do for yourself. If you could give.
Yeah, what can you add? What can you add to what I'm already doing?
Right.
That's the thing. It's not. I don't need the things you're doing now because I'm already doing it.
Right.
So why would I want to split my profit just for you to do the same thing I'm already doing?
I can already
do for myself.
Right.
So what can you do that I can't do that'll benefit me?
So it's safe to say, like, you feel like it's mostly about your drive in this industry.
Yeah, your drive, your inspiration, your feeling for it. Like I said earlier, you gotta want it bad enough to breathe. And everybody knows you need to breathe.
Every single day.
Every day.
Every single day. When did you start in this industry? Like, how early did you start your writing?
I took it more seriously when I came home. I was at that point where I could actually do something with this.
Right.
There was no more freestyling. There was freestyle, but you know what I mean. There was no more just hanging out, freestyling, making people smile, making songs, stuff like that. Like I could actually, people literally enjoy what I do. They ask me when I'm gonna do something. So it's like, okay, let's go do something. Let's see where we go.
Let's see where we move at. Now, a lot of people call themselves artists, rapper, all kind of names. What do you consider yourself?
I consider myself a monolith.
Okay, explain that to them. What is that?
I am more than an artist. I am more than a rapper. I produce. I create videos. I'm a content creator. I write scripts. I shoot scripts.
Okay.
I've been a part of some projects already out there.
Right.
I'm a writer for other artists. So,
okay.
I got there's not one iron in my pocket. So I don't deserve to be, and I will never classify myself as one thing.
True. So, if you had to label yourself a monolith, but if you had to label someone else who does all these many different things, like everybody does all these different things in the industry, would you say being a monolith is what just about everybody is? Because a lot of people do the same thing. They write, they do videos.
Well, they have to see themselves.
That's what I was trying to get at.
You have to see yourself. Just because you do one or two particular things don't mean that you're going to do the other thing. I mean, some people will do this and they'll do that, but they don't want to do this, that, this.
Right.
Sometimes you got to take that camera, set it up, and go do your own thing.
Right. Like get in front of it yourself and shoot your own
video. You got to go back and look at it and redo it again and make things happen yourself.
Exactly.
So that is the definition of what we're talking about right here. Somebody who's willing to put their hands in all the pots they need to in order to learn what they need to learn so they can do it on their own.
Exactly. What are some highlights of your career? Like some things that you've been involved in that you like, man, I didn't think I'd be in this place, but you did.
Losing.
Explain that.
Losing because at one time I had a very big head. I was disease-ridden with success. And the way I say it, the reason I say that because it was like no matter what I did, my trajectory was. And the more I started ascending, the more I thought I knew when I knew nothing.
Wow.
People that helped me, people that was guiding me, holding my hand, walking me through these steps, I started to think I knew more than them, that I can get it done better than them.
Right.
And I knew absolutely nothing.
Right. Now, this is my subject because I also manage. And so sometimes it's hard to communicate to an artist like, listen, I know like where you're from, I've been there too, but if you listen, I can get you further. What do you think would help change that? Do they have to lose too, or can something else happen?
Well, for some, it's just patience.
Right.
It's just simply patience.
Right.
And understanding. And realizing you're dealing with somebody who's been doing this. In my case, I was dealing with people who've been doing it, but you weren't doing it as long. You started doing it a year ago, but I started doing this 2 years after. You still got a 2-year jump on me, but that means you know more than me to a degree.
Right.
But like I say, even though it was in that situation for me, everything was going up. Everything they suggest we do, every place we went,
Right.
every show we did,
Right.
stop selling. That's the one thing they encouraged I stopped doing that I didn't get away from. And that was my goodbye card moment.
How did it feel to ascend and then just lose? Was it a gradual lose or was it just like, boom?
No, well, it was just like walking into Cheers. You're glad everybody know your name. But at some point, you got to realize that people knowing your name ain't transitioning into finance. You know what I'm saying? It's good you know me. I'm glad you liking my music, but where's the backing? I'm not seeing nothing on the backing.
Right.
Don't tell me you like my shirt if you ain't gonna buy one of my shirts.
I get you.
But you see me with my shirts every day.
Right.
So the support was beautiful.
Right.
And the financial support would have been better.
Right. How are you going to do things differently this time to make sure you have not only the support, but the financial support as well?
Marketing, for one.
Okay.
I know how to. I feel I've built and I'm building a nice team.
Okay.
And I've learned. Like I say, patience. I took the time to learn. I took the time to lose.
Right.
It's an old parable that says, if you win all the time, you don't learn nothing. You get so used to it.
Exactly.
But if you lose, that's your lesson. What did you learn from not winning?
Exactly. That's like, I don't know, that's like a breath of fresh air to me because a lot of artists don't realize you could go high, but if you're not getting that financial behind it, then it's going to always be an issue. But then you have to have a team of people that you're working with that got your back and not going to, because in this game, like you said, it could be a dirty game. It don't have to be, but it can be a dirty game. But I think the importance is that you learn and that other artists learn that you have to know what's going on too. You can't always depend on somebody else. So what are you coming out with now? Like what's your next project or what are you working on?
Well, I'm doing a listening party next week, which you're invited to.
Okay.
You and your camera guy, you know, show up.
He's showing up.
Next Friday will be next Friday. I'm releasing The Scoop, which is actually a play off the James Baldwin book, The Scoop That Sat by the Door.
My favorite book. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, that's my favorite book. Go ahead. I let somebody borrow that just a few days ago. I said, like, you gotta read the book. Like, read the book one page at a time.
I encourage people. It's beautiful because it's powerful.
Yes, very powerful book. Okay, so
Powerful book, and you can learn so much.
It just opens you up to a whole nother reality. I just pay attention. Okay.
I guess that's why they used to say put it in a book.
That could be a whole nother show, because if I get to talking to you about us and books, us meaning the art people.
I can only speak on the community, but I grew up.
Is that?
I grew up, we had no choice. We grew up, my family, you go read.
You gonna read
something.
You
I don't
gonna
care if
write.
it's a magazine. I don't care if it's a magazine. You gonna pick it up and start something.
Right. What a newspaper. Let's read these current events.
I used to think it was real tedious. I apologize.
You okay?
I just think it was real tedious back then, but now that I look back on a lot of stuff that my grandparents had us do,
Right.
I am more than thankful.
Very
Because I
thankful.
realized that was their way of trying to prepare us to deal with what we got to deal with in our lifetime.
Exactly. Now I can honestly say back then there was a lot of protection for us versus what's happening now in the community. It was because my grandparents and my mama, I be saying they crazy, but I'm grateful for them.
Yeah, but you got to ask yourself about the community now. Where did we go wrong?
That's my question all the time.
Where did we go wrong? Because we are a group of people who grew up being protected, yet somehow we got away from protecting.
What happened? That's the whole thing.
So
like,
that's the
what
thing is, where did what stopped our reasoning, not just protecting your child, but protecting my child.
Right.
But now it's interesting if it's not my child. You know,
It's like whatever you see it. Let me turn my head. That ain't my child.
Yeah, the neighborhood I grew up in, Mr. Johnson across the street was gonna deal with Mr. Smith if he said something to you and you don't belong to either one of them. But you grew up watching and knowing, so we know
Right.
the community.
The community.
We don't have a community no more. We got hoods.
I said that's a whole nother show. You gonna come back
I'm
and
just
we're
saying,
gonna have a real topic. No, not that your topic. We're gonna have a topic about the community because that's good knowledge that you can provide to people so that they see. They don't always hear my rant and raves on the podcast.
I give my opinion.
Right.
You ask me my opinion, I give you my opinion. I can only tell you what I've experienced.
Exactly.
That's it. And what I've witnessed is not nothing to be proud of. What I've seen, something you wish you can unsee. What I've been a part of, things I'm not going to speak on.
Exactly. So tell us about this listening party. Where it's gonna be at? Who invited? What
It's going to be, the studio is off I forgot the name of the studio because I've only been there once. But
Okay.
It's a nice place, and I talked to the guy, got his card. I hit him up, so we setting it up for Friday. But it's off of Chamberlain and Waters.
Okay.
In that little plaza.
All right. I'm pretty sure Chamberlain
I'll have
was.
come Monday. I'll have all the information
All right.
situated on a couple flyers out there in the ether. But it was really a selective few.
Right.
Like I was gonna bring my buddy, like no more than 8 to 10 people.
Right.
I know all of them don't make music, but what I've learned about each and every one of those people, they have an ear. And somebody with an ear, they might can't make the music, but they can tell you what they can hear
What's
and what's not, what they're not hearing. And that's just as being a producer, just my opinion.
Right.
Because I can sit there with the producer, and I know I want certain things a certain way. And when I listen to the music, when we recorded the song, and we've done the ad-libs, we've done this, I can tell if something should have been moved up, moved back, or this pitch should have came in, or we should have dropped this at which the count should have been.
Right.
So, because I hear it, I got to hear it.
Exactly.
So, that's just there. But now, it's just like the more I spoke about it, but like I say, I've told a few people, they told a few people.
You know how it goes.
Then the calls start coming.
Right.
You invited such and such. But you ain't tell me.
You know how it goes, though. You already know how it goes.
So you gonna tell James, but I gotta hear from Rico. I didn't tell Rico. James told Marcus. Marcus spoke to Sean. Sean told Rico.
That's how it goes, though. And then you sitting there like, oh, well.
I didn't tell Sean. I didn't tell. Only thing I asked Marcus was where the water was.
Then Marcus then came up with, well, you know, we have this listening party here, there. But it's like that, though. That's how, but either way.
Yeah, but it's a good thing,
it's
man.
A good thing.
Put it like man. Anybody, my thing is anybody who wants to come, as long as you come with good vibes and ready to have a good time, man.
Right.
My music, I don't consider my music like a lot of the stuff you're gonna hear. Which I don't knock a lot of the stuff you hear because I am grateful that that's an outlet for these kids and these people. They found a way to get their voice out there, to utilize their talent.
Exactly.
So they found that way, thankful for it.
True.
I just hate the fact that generations that came before get overlooked. Like this is the only group of people, as much as I hate to say it, Aerosmith, a group like Aerosmith, them dudes in like the 60s and 70s.
Right.
They can still fill a stadium.
Right.
They can still fill a stadium. Rolling Stones can still fill a stadium. I meant to say Rolling Stones.
I know what you mean. I knew exactly what you were trying to say.
But we got older artists in our generation right now who barely fill a club because you got people who, like I said, this is the only generation where we don't pass down them artists and that music as they should be.
Right.
Most of us. Some of us do, the majority of us don't. It's like, he been in the game 10 years, he should have been gone. Like he still ain't making good music. Like her music still ain't got a meaning. It's like he should be gone, it should be the next one. Nobody said because the old is here, there's no room for the next.
Exactly. I don't think they really understand that concept though. I think that is, I don't know, the generations are changing from generation to generation, of course, but wrap it up. The generations are changing from system to system, but I think it's a lack of respect. That's just my opinion.
Oh, that too, but you gave, I will put, I'm not gonna put it on the generation because like I said, those guys in their 60s and their 70s, and there was still generations that came between, but that other generation passed down that music and they love for that music to that next generation to which they grew a love for.
Right.
Hence, you still got staying there. And they still appreciate this music.
Right.
That's why they call it timeless.
There we go. One last thing. What is something motivational you would provide to a new artist coming in and they say, I want to meet Gutta Souff and I want, they ask you like, what can you tell me about this industry? What can you give me inspirational or some knowledge you can give me?
I tell them the same thing I just told you. Be real about it. You gotta want it. You gotta understand there's gonna be some people ain't gonna be in your corner. You gotta understand there's some people in your corner simply love you because what they know they can get off your face. That's it. It's a lot of people gonna smile in your face. Just have champagne for them.
That's it. Well, thank you, Gutta Stuff, for being on Sitting Out Motivation. That's it, y'all. I love y'all. Goodbye.
Bye.